Hi everyone, my name is Peter Hansiven Lee and my student ID number is C11-2021-02316. The Carpet Fitter. Eddie was a carpet fitter and he hated his job. 10 years of his life cutting and fitting carpets in houses, offices, shops, factories and restaurants for other people to walk on without even seeing them. When his work was done, nobody ever appreciated it, they just walked all over it, and he was sick of it. He was just cutting and fixing the last huge red carpet which he had fitted in the Mrs. Funberg's house. Mrs. Funberg is a rich person and liked to change her carpets every year. It was 4 o'clock and he had nearly finished. At least he could get home early. He imagined about the weekend, the Saturday football game he always played. The job was done, and it was time for him to have a last cigarette. He began to looking for the new packet of Marlboro he had bought in the morning. He couldn't find the cigarette. When he was looking for the cigarettes in his toolbox, and he saw a lamp right in the middle of the brand new bright red carpet. A very visible lamp in the size of a packet of cigarettes. Taking up and refitting the carpet had taken him 2 hours. Eddie didn't want to spend another 2 hours in this house. He decided to clean the lamp with another way. Then he turned to his toolbox for a large hammer. He didn't want to damage the carpet itself, so he took a block of wood and placed it on top of the lamp. Then he began to beat the block of wood as hard as he could. He hoped Mrs. Funberg wouldn't hear the noise and come to see what he was doing. After 3 or 4 minutes, the lamp was invincible. Then he clearing up his tools and he began to move the furniture back into the living room, with careful to place one of the coffee tables over the place where the lamp had been, just to make sure that nobody would see the spot where his cigarettes had been lost. Finally, the job was finished and he called Mrs. Funberg to inspect his work. Mrs. Funberg very liked the carpet, and she asked about the bill. Eddie said that he would send the bill as soon as possible when he done to report it to his office tomorrow. Then he picked up his tools and began to walk out to the van. Meanwhile, Mrs. Funberg felt worried about something. When Eddie climbed into the cab of his van, Mrs. Funberg asked him about Armand. Armand was Mrs. Funberg's parakeet bird. She usually let Armand out of his cage and he will come back to the cage after an hour. But today, he didn't come back. Eddie said that he haven't seen him anywhere. Then he reached to start the fan. Suddenly, he saw his packet of Marlboro cigarettes on the dashboard, where he had left it at lunchtime. Eddie remembered the lamp in the carpet and realized what was the lamp. Then he began to feel rather sick.